Today, we're going to dive into the very first battle of the Civil War, the Battle of Bull Run. Let's think about what questions and answers we can come up with for this battle. Our big question for this battle is, what did both sides learn after the Battle of Bull Run, the first battle of the Civil War? And we're going to notice that the Battle of Bull Run taught both sides that the war would be long and bloody and that both sides needed more training. I love this political cartoon created obviously by a Northerner about the Battle of Bull Run. Take a look at the people that are in it. When I look at this political cartoon, I can tell it's written by a Northerner because look how the Northerner, the person who is heavier, more well supplied, doesn't look as scrappy and skinny. He is chasing off that very skinny Southerner. And look at the things that are coming off the body of the Southerner. You've got a whiskey bottle, the straw hat. Look, he's not wearing shoes. This was created before the Battle of Bull Run and showed that the Northerners believed that it was going to be an easy battle. In fact, they thought this was going to be an easy war. We're going to find out that that wasn't really the case. In the Battle of Bull Run occurred on July 21st, 1861 in Manassas Junction, Virginia. Now, Bull Run Creek ran through Manassas Junction, and the Northerners had an interesting habit of calling names of battles by the name of the body of water that was near it. The Southerners, on the other hand, refer to this battle as the Battle of Manassas Junction because it's near the town of Manassas Junction. You're going to see that as a common thread through a lot of these battles. The main Confederate leader that we need to talk about in the Battle of Bull Run is someone by the name of Thomas Stonewall Jackson, who actually is going to get his nickname in the Battle of Bull Run. We'll talk again about that a little bit later on. Here's a picture of Stonewall Jackson. It's said that he had steely blue eyes and that in battle his eyes lit up even more. He loved battle and he was a brilliant military mind for the Confederacy. The reason why this battle occurred in the Battle of Bull Run and Manassas Junction is because of the fact that it is a junction, meaning it is a junction of railroads. Manassas Junction was a junction for a whole bunch of different rail lines to come together, and control of these rail lines means being able to control troops and supplies into the heart of the Confederacy. Because of that, it was extremely important for the Confederacy to control, as well as extremely important for the Union to try to capture. That's why the battle occurs here at the Battle of Bull Run. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the time to go into super amounts of detail about every little minuscule thing that happens in the battle. So let's just do a quick overview about the battle itself. At first, the Union takes an early advantage. In fact, Union soldiers were walking around the fields of the battlefield and picking up shell casings and bullets and saying, look, we have mementos of this amazing victory that the Union is going to have over the Confederacies. This is going to end the Civil War. We're going to learn that's not actually what happens. Then there's a man by the name of Stonewall Jackson, a general for the Confederacy, and he starts to rally his forces. In fact, other Confederate soldiers turned and saw him on a hill and said, look, there's Thomas Jackson standing like a stone wall. Let's get behind him. And that nickname stuck for him. The Confederates also had this amazing battle technique where they let out this, they called it the rebel scream or the rebel cry, where they let out this blood-curdling scream as they're running down the fields towards the Northerners, which, as you can imagine, was pretty scary for them. Because the Confederates all rallied behind Stonewall Jackson, the Union line breaks. It's called the Great Skedaddle. Many Union soldiers turned around and ran back to their original camp and kept going. They were afraid. And this became the first Confederate win in the very first major battle. Now, this was an embarrassment for the Union. They believed that this was going to be an easy win, just like the Southerners thought this was going to be an easy win. Let's look at the battle numbers, the casualty numbers, to see how that turned out. As you can see in this casualty chart, this battle did not have a huge number of casualties in comparison to others we're going to study. But look at the numbers of losses. Confederates lost 387 men that were killed compared to Union losses of 460. Now, we know that the Union lost more men, but considering the fact that the Union had 29% of the population, 22 million people, that percentage of loss was much lower than what the Confederates had. Remember, they only had 9 million population and 4 million of those were slaves. So 387 is actually a higher percentage than the Union lost at the end. There were more wounded in the Confederates, 1,582 compared to 1,124 Union men who were wounded. But that captured and missing number really sticks out at me. Only 13 Confederates were captured or missing, compared to 1,312 Union soldiers who were captured or missing. Most of them, remember, had turned around and ran and just kept going home. They didn't think this was the battle they signed up for, the war they signed up for. So let's go back to our big question and our answer. What did both sides learn during the Battle of Bull Run, the first major battle of the Civil War? Remember, both sides thought this was going to be easy. In fact, citizens of the city of Manassas Junction were lining the hills with picnic baskets to watch the battle, only to be horrified by the amount of blood and gore that came out of it. Because after the battle, both sides learned that this was going to be a long and bloody war, and that both sides would need significantly more training than what they had. The next battle we're going to take a look at will really show us the huge amount of death that occurred. I want you to be thinking about why that is. Why is it that there's so many deaths and so much blood and carnage in the Civil War? We're going to answer that question next.